Hello friends. So today we are here to share the important topics on CA inter auditing and assurance paper. So we know majority of the CA students, those who are pursuing the articleship training, they don't find time for a preparation of entire syllabus. At the same time, those who are writing both the groups may not be finding time for the completion of total syllabus. So keeping in this mind, so what we have done, we have prepared a list of important concepts for your examination, what you can prepare, and you can just prepare 100% of all these topics and you can go to the exam with confidence. So everybody want to write the exams with confidence. So I would like to so boost up your confidence levels. So that is the reason. So we are having this session today. So welcome to all the students, those who are pursuing say inter, and let us move on to the session without any delay. Now friends, actually as far as the CA inter is concerned, so we would like to share for the May 2023 examination. So those who are writing examination May 2023, so we are sharing only important concept for the examination. So now friends, as far as the auditing paper is concerned, you might be having the mindset that it is a theory paper, I cannot remember all the provisions and I need to remember a lot of standards, section numbers, then provisions, everything. Now as far as auditing paper is concerned, you are not expected to write any standard number at all in the exam, but you better to remember the standard numbers. Whenever any question is given based on the standard, you can easily guess from where the question is given. So now my dear friends, as far as the auditing paper is concerned, see auditing paper is concerned, so you have a lot of chapters there. So you have around 13 chapters in the auditing paper. You have 13 chapters in the auditing paper. So in this auditing paper you are having 13 chapters, and at the same time you are a standards in auditing, and also you have auditing pronouncements. So I would like to cover all the areas and I want to give the important topics for your examination. So something called pronouncements. Now my dear friends, so as far as the auditing paper is concerned, so you know the question paper pattern is as follows. So the complete question paper is based on standards. The pattern of the question paper having the following. So your question paper may be having, first you are having true or false questions, then you are having MCQ based question paper, then you are having case study based questions, then you are having theory questions. So this is the question paper pattern as far as CA inter is concerned. Now keeping all this in mind, I would like to share important topics. Now moving on to the important topics as far as auditing is concerned, never feel no this subject is having voluminous of syllabus. Yes, definitely this is the heart of the CA profession and everyone has to learn auditing concepts. There is no alternative for you and me if you want to lead in this profession. Now because of not having time in the articleship training, you may find difficult to do all these things. No, not required. So this you may not required to prepare 100%, even you don't have time. We will try to share important concept. You don't need to get frustration in your articleship training and just study and just go to the exam center. Now my dear friends, now let me come to the important concepts as far as the auditing paper is concerned. Now coming into first one, you need to cover the objectives of audit. The first concept, objectives of audit. Now we have two objectives of audit. One is primary objective, secondary objective, the topic you should cover. Then what are the aspects to be covered in audit, then inherent limitations of audit. Three limitations we have. So financial reporting, then nature of time, cost versus time, what you are going to, cost versus benefit you are going to have a limitation. So then qualities of auditor, what are the important qualities of auditor. Then you need to cover SQC1. Majority of the CA students will leave the standards in choice, but my humble request to all of you, please don't leave this SQC1 in choice. You prepare it, because there are 7 elements of SQC1. One element will be covered in examination. Now ethical requirements of a chartered accountant, like integrity, objectivity, like that. You have ethical requirements. You have 5 ethical requirements. Cover all the 5 ethical requirements. You may guess, either you may get individual questions or you may get what complete ethical requirements, or you may get the question like this also. They give the list of requirements and they may ask you to find what is not ethical requirement in the list. Now concept of independence. So what is the independence of the auditor? So it is the main thing what auditor has to maintain an entire auditing profession during the course of audit. Now these have a very good weightage in the examination. Now what are the threats to independence? Every auditor should maintain independence, but we have threats for independence. We have different threats. We have 5 types of threats, like advocacy threat, self-interest threat, self-review threat, like that. We have number of threats. That's 5 threats is there. So what is the 5 threats? You best prepare for the examination. Then coming into audit engagement letter, who will write audit engagement letter to whom? Auditor will write to management. Then what are the preconditions to commence the audit, that you can prepare. Then in case of recurring audit, how to send engagement letter, is it required or not required? So that question you can cover. Then auditing versus investigation. So main thing is now, so do auditor required to act as investigator? No, auditor has to do his auditor job. Then what is the difference between auditing and investigation? You may get question from this area. Then what is audit strategy? How auditor will plan for the audit of financial statements? So planning, then changes in planning during the course of audit. Can I change the plan? So everything is covered in SA 300. You can prepare SA 300 as well simultaneously, my dear friends. Then what is audit program? Then advantages of audit program if you prepare, and what is the disadvantages of audit program? And these disadvantages, how to overcome the disadvantage, that's what the examination question. So you may be having a lot of disadvantages in the audit program, then how to overcome these disadvantages. Then how to construct the audit program. When you want to go for the audit, you need to prepare the audit program. That means auditor has to prepare by involving all his team members. Then how to prepare this audit program, you may get the direct question, and they may give the scenario and they may ask you to prepare the audit program as well. Then what is the concept of materiality? Then performance materiality. Then revision of materiality. Now it is the judgment of the auditor to fix the materiality. So you may get questions from this area, SA 315 and SA 320. Now my dear friends, audit documentation. So very important for examination, my dear friends, because no documentation means you have not done the audit properly. Then who has to maintain the documentation? What is the type you need to maintain documentation? What are different types of documentations available? Then who is the owner for this documentation? Why we need to maintain the purpose? Then time period of preparation of documentation, very important standard, SA 230. So please prepare the standard without any ambiguity. Definitely you may get the MCQ based question or true or false question or case study question from this area. Then what is audit file and assembly of audit file? So when to assemble, within 60 days you should assemble the audit file as far as audit documentation is concerned. Next, my dear friends, completion memorandum or audit documentation summary. What is the meaning of completion memorandum? Please have a look into this concept as well. Then coming into next concept, audit evidence. What is audit evidence? So the base for the opinion is only audit evidences. Then what is the relevance of audit evidence as far as the auditing is concerned? What is the reliability of the audit evidence? What is the genuinity of the audit evidence? Then how you can ensure the reliability if you get from internal source, external source, then within the management, then outside the management. Then what are the different sources from where you can get the evidences? Then once you get the evidence, how we are going to check the sufficiency and appropriateness of evidences? That means quality and quantum of evidences. So sufficiency talks about quantum and appropriate talks about relevance or quality. Then audit procedures. Next, coming into 520. So what are different types of audit procedures? Not 520. This is about audit evidence. How to get the audit evidences? We have 2 types of evidences. So one is risk assessment procedures, then further audit procedures. So risk assessment procedures, we are going to assess the risk of organization as far as the financial statements are concerned. Then we have further audit procedures, that is test of internal controls. Then substantive procedures, nothing but covering of profit and loss account items and balance sheet items, what we call as a test of details and test of transactions or balances. Now what are the 7 audit procedures we have? We have to obtain the audit evidences. Now I want to get the audit evidence. How to obtain the audit evidence? We have 7 methods for that. So like we have something called inspection, inquiry, then for re-performance, recalculation, so analytical procedures, like that we have 7 audit procedures. So please look into this concept as well. Now what is written representations? From whom written representation should be requested? So should I get the written representation from the competent authority, or from whom I should get the written representation? And I wanted to get the attention of all students here. So written representation is different from the external confirmation. So external confirmation we get from the external party, written representation will get from the management. So written representation deal with the standard called SA 580, whereas external confirmation we follow 505 standard. Now here what is written representation and from whom I should get? Should I get from the management or should I get from the those charged with the governance, competent authority, who is the right person from the organization? This question you may expect from the examination perspective. Next, inventory counting. Next concept, inventory counting. What is the inventory counting? As far as SA 501 is concerned, standard 501 covers 3 areas: inventory, litigations and claims, segment reporting. So in this area you can follow inventory counting because there is a lot of fraud might be happen in the inventory. The same as covered in CARO also. The same as covered in CARO also. Now external confirmation, as I said, 505 standard. Types of confirmation, we have negative confirmation, positive confirmation. And while you preparing external confirmation topic, you please have a look into this. What is the meaning of exception and what is the meaning of non-response? Non-response. What is meant by non-response? What is meant by exception? Then, so if management is not allowing the auditor to go for sending of confirmation, then what auditor has to take action? What is the action auditor has to take? What is the auditor shall do? Next, coming into next, related party transactions. What is the meaning of related party transaction? Then how to identify the related party transactions. So whether there is any related party transaction existed, how to identify. We have 12 records we need to check to identify the related party transactions. Then how to identify these related party transactions. Next, coming into next important concept, true and fair view. Ultimately, auditor has to express the opinion on the financial statements, stating whether the financial statement is reflecting true and fair view or not. Then what is the meaning of true and fair view? Is there any definition for this? No definition as per the act, but it is based on the judgment of the auditor. But Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has given the meaning for this, so you may get questions based on this concept. Then subsequent events. What is subsequent event? Then what is the auditor obligation regarding subsequent event? What is the effect on the audit? Next, SA 570, going concern concept. So what is going concern concept? Then how to check the going concern concept, whether the organization is going to run on the going concern basis or not. Then what is the indications of going concern assumption, how to check these assumptions. They given events or conditions. They given 3 types of conditions here. One is financial indicators, operating indicators, other indicators. Then what is audit risk? Very important, my dear friends. What is audit risk? So audit risk, you have a formula. Audit risk is equal to inherent risk into control risk into detection risk. Now what is inherent risk, what is control risk, what is detection risk? You may get separate questions for the examination, or else you may get directly what is the materiality misstatement, and they may ask this. Now important point to be noted here, my dear friends, you may get the question based on what is not audit risk. They may give the scenario, is this scenario include audit risk or not? That means, example, there is something called business risk. For the business risk, we no way connected. For the business risk, only management is responsible. You may get questions from this area also. Next, internal controls, my dear friends. What is internal control? How to evaluate the controls? So what are the benefits of evaluation of internal controls to auditor? So whether internal controls are strong or weak or not existed, even existed, no effect on controls, everything is the concept. You may get questions based on this as well. Next, my dear friends, methods of evaluation of controls. We have 4 methods. So example, narrative record, checklist, like that we have methods of evaluation. You have 4 methods. You please prepare 4 methods. Again, they may give the scenario and they may ask what method it is, or direct question they may give, or they may have the practical case study also. Then internal audit, applicability of internal audit, for which company internal audit applicable. Then internal audit applicability in case of private limited companies, you may get the applicability case study. Now standards on internal audit. Now my request to all of you, read at least once. We have standards on auditing, we have accounting standards, we have forensic accounting standards, we have IFRS, we have Ind AS, like that. For internal audit also we have standards. These internal audit standards have been issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India Internal Audit Standard Board, where now presently we have 13 standards. Now please at least read once. Example, there is standard called 230 in internal auditing standards also. The moment when you listen 230, you may directly go to documentation. But documentation is what? audit documentation is SA 230, but internal auditing standard 230 is not documentation. So that you may not lose the mark if you get question from this area. Then internal financial controls versus internal audit. Then difference between internal financial control versus internal control over financial reporting. That's what audit responsibility versus management responsibility, for which is responsible. So 42 very important for examination. Then coming into SA 240, fraud. Now what is the fraud, types of fraud, what are the techniques by which management can commit the fraud, then management responsibility for fraud, auditor responsibility for fraud, then the given techniques. Then in this must read is teaming and lading concept. What is teaming and what is lading, how management can commit these kind of frauds. Then is the detection of fraud is auditor responsibility. You may get frequent questions on this particular topic. 44 concept, detection of fraud and error is the responsible auditor or the management, or detection of fraud and error is the responsibility of primary responsibility of auditor or secondary responsibility of auditor. Like that you may get the questions. Then what is fraud risk factors? So you may get the incentives, pressures, like that. You have a lot of fraud risk factors, you can cover this also. Then main important thing, my dear friends, fraud reporting. We have amendment here, fraud reporting in section 143 subsection 12 and rule 13. So must read the chart given in the ICA study material or in the classroom material. We given the chart already, that you can prepare for the examination. Please, as many times as possible, you please read the chart and try to remember the when to report, how to report, to whom to report, time limit, then what is the amount, based on amount we need to give the reporting. Then in case of chartered accountant is not identified, what is the obligation. In case of cost accountant is identified, what is the chartered accountant has to do. All these things given in one chart. So please go through with the fraud reporting chart as well, my dear friends. Next, coming into types of controls in case of automated environment. So everybody now maintaining ERP. Now in case of ERP environment, when you go for the audit, how you are going to do the audit, you may get one question from this area. So we have general IT controls, application controls, IT dependent controls. Please have a glance of these particular all areas. So this very important concept in the real practical life, but for examination purpose you can go through these three controls. Just coming into SA 530, audit sampling. What is audit sampling and statistical versus non-statistical sampling? Then in this sampling, when you are preparing, please go through with the population. What is the meaning of population? What is the meaning of anomaly? Then what are the sample selection methods? So we have different types of sample selection methods. So what is the different types of sample selection methods you can prepare? Then coming into SA 520, analytical procedures. What is analytical procedures? Analysis of plausible relation between financial versus non-financial data, and analytical procedures are having different types of procedures. Then we have substantive analytical procedures, and substantive analytical procedures having 4 techniques. So trend analysis, ratio analysis, reasonableness test, structural modeling. Structural modeling you may get separate question in the exam as well. Then what is the meaning of assertion? This topic talks about audit of items of financial statements. So you are having a lot of line items in the profit and loss account statement, and you have a lot of line items in the balance sheet. So profit and loss statement covers the incomes and expenses, balance sheet covers different types of assets and liabilities, and how you are going to audit each and every item, and it is based on the assertion, that is called management judgment. Next, coming into company audit, my dear friends, appointment of auditor, then disqualifications of auditor, rotation of auditors. Here you need to cover CARO also. CARO we have amendment, and this year we are expecting question from the CARO. Maybe not on applicability of CARO, but we have CARO clauses. We have 21 clauses in CARO. You may get question from any point, and there are a lot of amendments here. Already we discussed in the classroom, and please go through with that amendments as well. And sealing of number of audits, punishment for non-compliance, what is audit committee, powers and duties of auditor. Powers and duties of auditor, please read 2-3 times, because now questions are based on what auditor having powers, what powers auditor not having. Example, right to attend AGM. Is this the right of the auditor, or when auditor is not attending AGM, is it the obligation of the auditor to attend the AGM? Like that we are getting practical questions. Then joint audit. What is joint audit? SA 299. And what is the advantages of joint audit, disadvantage of audit, and how to report in case of joint audit. There are more than 2 auditors are appointed, more than 1 auditor is appointed, so we have to follow standard number 299, and how to report, whether everybody come to the common opinion or different opinions. Then audit report, my dear friends, last SA 700 series of standards. Now types of reports. We have different types of reports. We have modified report, we have unmodified report. In case of modified report, again we are having three types of opinions. So qualified, adverse and disclaimer. When I have to give the report and what circumstances I have to give the report. Then coming into bank audits. So we have types of bank audit reports. So in company audit, we used to give normal independent audit report, CARO if applicable, internal financial controls audit report if applicable. Exactly similar lines in bank also we do audit report and also LFAR. Like that we have types of reports issued by the branch auditor. Then in case of banks, we have different types of advances what we give it to the customers, and these types of advances are funded and non-funded advances. Funded advances are term loan, cash credit, overdraft. That means transfer of money to the bank account of the customer. Non-funded advances means only giving assurance by way of letter of credit or bank guarantee. Then mode of creation of security. When I want to avail any loan facility from the bank, I have to give the security. For the security purpose, we are having different types of securities. I can hypothecate my goods, I can do pledge. Like that we have different types of securities. In these securities we have 6 modes of securities in the as far as the banks are concerned. In that you please prepare and must read 2 important concepts. What is setup, what is assignment, what is the meaning of setup, what is the meaning of assignment. Now coming into my dear friends, prudential norms. In case of bank, the main income for the bank is interest income. So interest income is generated based on the loans. So when loan is not repaid by the borrower, I cannot recognize the income. When I should recognize, when I should not recognize, when the loan will become non-performing asset, then what is performing asset. So all these things you can go through prudential norms of Reserve Bank of India. Then drawing power calculation. So ultimately, finally you need to calculate the drawing power in case of overdraft facility extended by the banker. And in this drawing power calculation is based on the current assets. Because it is based on current assets like inventories and debtors, you need to calculate on periodical basis, and you need to revise the OD limit also on drawing power also. For this purpose, we have formula given in the given by the committee, and this formula you need to apply and you should calculate this. To calculate this, if you are having good mathematical knowledge, you can calculate. Otherwise, you better to carry a calculator to auditing exam. Then last topic, audit of special entities, my dear friends. So very good golden opportunity for you, because this is a normal preparation. You can do all these special audits. So you can imagine the real-time scenario in the cinema theaters and hotels and hospitals. Based on that, you can write the exam, how to verify and what is the assets, how you can construct the program and all. And please prepare partnership firms, hotels, cinemas, then NGOs, hospital, hire purchase and leasing company audits. So these are the 59 topics what you should mandatorily cover before going for the examination. Hardly it will take 1 month time. If you dedicatedly sit and prepare, it will take 1 month time, and you can easily complete your syllabus as well. Now I wish you all the best, my dear friends, for your examination, and definitely if you cover all these areas, you can get lot of confidence and you can go to the exam center with confidence. So I wish you all the best for your examinations, and if you have any queries, so please let us know in the comment session, so that we will come back to you. And another session we are going to do on important topics. We will take topic by topic and we will try to cover one by one. So thank you all for your patience listening, and my best wishes to all of you. Thank you.